Hey guys, Rebel Engine 95, recording live from your local county prison cell. Yes, Keck Bald, get it out of the way now. Okay, so what I want to preface this fight with, because I feel like I'm telling a story every time I do a fight, is since I'd been taking so long to do a lot of the fights that I had planned to do, I end up with a lot of backed up. Like I have a lot of fights that I just ignore for a little bit and save for later. And I scrolled through them every now and again, and I realized a lot of these fights, I feel like I'm in a rut, where a lot of these fights are just, you know, anime character, fighting game character, Ruby character, My Hero character, Star Wars character, Marvel, DC. I feel like and I don't want to do two Ruby characters in a row, two My Hero characters in a row, two DC characters in a row. I don't want to do that, so I'm like, how am I? Oh, what in what order am I gonna do this? When am I gonna do the? I don't want to do this one. Don't want to do this one. So and then one day I just came up with this, and I put it together. I came up with a thumbnail. I put it to the side, and I never really thought about it because I was never really taking it seriously. And you'll see why when I start doing the fight. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is the perfect stopgap. This is the perfect fight to do when I don't want my last one and my next one to have anything to do with each other. Because both of these properties are so off the wall random that of course I'm not going to do. So that will get us into what fight I'm doing now. That is Cat Noir, Adrienne, I don't know his last name, from Miraculous Adventures of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and Della Robia from Code Lyoko. We've had cat girl fights. We've had cat girl and raccoon girl. We've had cat girl and elf girl. We've had cat girl and sad girl. It's cat boy time. And you can see by the seriousness on my face that I'm trying to maintain while I'm saying this that this is a big deal. But no, actually, I loved Code Lyoko back in well, actually, I can't say that. I liked Code Lyoko in high school. I remember skipping over it when it was actually on in middle school. But I've seen Code Lyoko. Point is, I've watched it and I actually really do like it. In a weird way, I kind of like it. Miraculous, I've watched and I'm just like, it's okay. I didn't see all of it, but I started watching it and I'm just like, not bad, but not for me. Um, but I've watched all the clips and everything I need to watch. I've looked at all the information and everything, so I feel like I'm pretty okay going into this fight. So, except for the last name, which I couldn't remember of the character, but somebody's gonna remind me about that, I guess. So, Adrian, or Cat Noir, is the son of a famous I think he's the mayor of Paris, right? Yeah, he's the son of the mayor of Paris, and he's led a privileged kind of life up until this point. He's has a lot of skills that he's accumulated: fencing, martial arts, video games, all this. He's become had to become the best at everything to kind of please his dad. And little did his father know, his son is actually, and little vice versa, but his son is actually the wielder of an Akuma, which is a being, a magical little being that gives the wielder the power of miraculous, which is basically just a superpower. I don't know why they have so much. I don't know why there's so much naming going on and everything. It's just a superpower. So his Akuma transforms him into Cat Noir. In this story, he gets the black costume, the cat theme, and everything, and he also gets a staff. But along that staff that he has, it's collapsible, shrinks, enlarges everything. But he also gains, feline senses. So he gains, hundreds of thousands of times stronger sense of smell, hearing. He can see in the dark. He can He has enhanced reflexes similar to a cat. He has, uh, enhanced strength, enhanced speed, durability. And then you combine that with his martial arts prowess and everything, and he actually becomes a very formidable fighter. He's done a lot of things. He's uh he's stopped a train. Well, he was 1/3 responsible for stopping a train from moving, from hitting a wall or hitting something. There was a train that was moving and he stopped it. He helped stop it. So I mean that's several thousands of tons of force being applied there. Um, he's been able to like leap from buildings to buildings. He's fought his father that he didn't know was his father, Hawkmoth before. He's very formidable fighter, and his kind of signature ability is Cataclysm, which is the opposite, I believe, to Ladybug's power. But essentially, he has a ring on one of his hands, and while this ability is active, anything he touches with that hand becomes negatively affected. So it's basically he can just give stuff bad luck, right? The downside to this is that it drains his Akuma power or his miraculous power or whatever it is, and basically so he can only stay as Cat Noir for like 5 minutes after he uses it. And it's really like a one-shot thing, so it's kind of like an ace up his sleeve, sort of one last resort, last gambit kind of thing. And there's no like guaranteed effect to it. It's kind of like whatever. It depends on what he touches, and if he touches somebody with a miraculous with it, then it like almost kills them. So, yeah. Now moving on to Odd. So Odd he's one of the Lyoko warriors, as in he's a kid that goes to the high school and he hangs out with the other kids who are Lyoko warriors. And Lyoko is essentially it was like a government attempted like secret virtual reality, like virtual world that was created to I don't know, but I don't know why they did it, but they made a world essentially, and Lyoko is that world. And these kids go into it, and they find out that Xana, a rogue artificial intelligence, had been taking over Lyoko, and had been using the power that it had gained from there to actually interact with the real world. So they had to go into Lyoko and stop Xana. So while in Lyoko, Odd actually, as well as all of his other friends, gain, again, within that world, they have super strength, speed, agility, and they also have weapons and superpowers of their own. Odd's weapon is his laser arrow, and his powers outside of, cat-like powers with being able to jump really long distances and whatnot. He's had three total powers at most. The first was called Future Flash, which let him see a few seconds into the future, but it was kind of random and unreliable, and it was more of a hindrance than a benefit. So it was removed from his program by Jeremy, right? I think his name's Jeremy. It's been a while. By Jeremy, who said it was useless. His second power was teleportation, which was given to him out of pity, and then removed that same day because it caused him to accidentally clone himself when he tried to leave Lyoko while teleporting. And then the third ability was exclusive to the video games and never actually brought up to the show, but I think it's probably his canon one, because it's also not very useful, so it's likely he just never really considers it a real power, even though he's complained about not having powers before. So this time control, quote-unquote, ability lets him slow down time for about 5 or 6 seconds, and he can only use it every couple of minutes because it needs to recharge. And that's it. But other than that, he is a very good shot. He has a lot of experience. He's actually a very good video gamer, which sound like an old man. A video gamer. Uh, he's very adept at video games, has a lot of experience and a lot of love for video games, and he that translates very well into Lyoko. Actually, funny enough, because he's in a virtual reality. Um, but yeah, who do I think is going to win this fight? So, first of all, neither, both of these characters are kind of underwhelming. I mean, the theme of the fight's just French cat boys. There's no, like, I'm not really using scaling, but they're both, like, kind of underwhelming in the scheme in the scheme of things with Death Battle. But also, how would this fight take place? Because you've got a magical character and a virtual reality character. I'm assuming Cat Noir would be inside a space like Lyoko, but not specifically Lyoko. So that somewhere where Odd would have his powers and Adrienne would still be able to use his miraculous somehow. I don't know how you access magic in a fucking computer, but whatever. So, assuming they were on equal territory and they both had access to everything, Adrienne definitely has the martial arts advantage. Odd's just kind of athletic, but that's about it. Not really super athletic. Um, but Adrian has done fencing, kung fu, karate. He's been very, he's very proficient in hand to hand, and he's actually very proficient with his staff, being able to like create shields by spinning it and extending it and vaulting buildings and everything. Also, I think with his strength advantage, or I think with his feats of strength rather, he has the strength advantage, and things his cat-like abilities that Odd doesn't have, like the enhanced senses and reflexes and whatnot, that pretty much gives him a pretty substantial physical advantage over Odd. And that whole staff spinning thing that I mentioned kind of negates the laser arrow because I didn't really describe laser arrows that great, but they're just energy arrows that kind of like they're just energy, they're lasers. That's really it. Self-explanatory. The laser arrow kind of gets stopped by that, so Odd doesn't really have a great way to win this fight. I mean, the time stop ability on paper is the perfect way to counter Cataclysm because he could try to stay alive long enough to, he could definitely avoid. Like I could see him using Cataclysm on like a mountain range and like causing an avalanche, and then Odd like uses the time slowing to avoid all the rocks and everything. But he can only use it every few minutes, so he's not gonna stay alive that whole like he's not gonna be able to just play keep away that whole 5 minute time. And again, with Adrian having the physical advantage over him, I think he's probably got it. I think he's probably gonna just chase him down and beat him to death with the staff. So yeah, I'm gonna give this to Cat Noir. Um, this is I think pretty decidedly in his favor here. Uh, this was a weird one. This was a weird one, but yeah. Anyway, hopefully my next one won't be. Well, my next one's gonna be whatever happens after Goku Black and Reverse Flash. But anyway, yeah, Rebel 95.